had this aspiration that I was going to be the next Rachel Zane, you know, from Suits. Like, I can't just handling the business. No, it's really not like that in the legal field at all. I like to call the attorneys the big picture and you are the small details. Hello everyone. Hi my Hive tribe. It's Queen Urbane and welcome back to my channel. If you're new, thank you so much for watching. I hope you like, comment, and subscribe, and I hope you join the fam. If not, it's whatever. So today, as requested, I am doing a how did I become a paralegal video. So in this video, first we'll be talking about kind of what led me to becoming a paralegal, the pros and cons of being a paralegal, and if I would recommend the field for someone else who is interested. I know a lot of people are interested in becoming paralegals. You know, if you have any curiosity, hopefully this video addresses any of the questions that you might have regarding if this field is for you. Without further ado, I'm gonna jump into what led me to this. When I first started undergrad, I was 17 years old, and my original major was a business econ major. And then I switched it over to fashion, and then I switched it after that to communications. So I had a few major changes within literally my freshman year of undergrad. I just knew I wanted to work in a like office corporate type of building. Like, my aspiration in life is to work in a corporate America, but more so I want to work in a corporate America to the point that I'm exhausted at working at corporate America. Like, oh my god, I'm making enough money but this is not fulfilling me. Like, those are the drama, that's the drama I want in my life, you know. So like, that's kind of the mindset I had going into this. I was not doing so well in business economics, more so the actual number side of it. I understood the theories very well and things like that, but math used to not be my friend. I don't want to say it's still not my friend because I've been working on increasing just like my mental math. I don't want to have a fixed mindset of like I'm not good at something, but at the time math wasn't my best friend, so I had to switch to something that I liked. I liked fashion at the time. I'm obsessed with fashion. If you look on this channel, I'm actually considering adding more fashion videos onto this channel, but you know, I just felt like in terms of long terms for goals, you know, I couldn't see any long-term prospects unless I wanted to literally become a fashion entrepreneur, which I didn't. That wasn't my aspiration in life. So I switched over to communication because communication, just the way it was presented to me, I remember I was at an academic meeting and the professor said to me when I was considering switching my major again, she was like, well, do you talk a lot? And I was like, I absolutely do. And she was like, well, what's one thing that'll open or close any door you get no matter what? Communication. So I think that's something you should study. And I really take that to heart. Like, I am a die-hard communication major fan in terms of people try to downplay that major, but if you know how to speak to people, you will make or break any experience in your life. So that kind of led me to the path of switching over to becoming a paralegal because I was learning now how to effectively communicate. And then, you know, just with life, you know, Black Lives Matter, all these protests going on, and I was a huge activist on my campus when I was in undergrad. I started to care a lot more about like just my ethnicity, Black women, Black people in general. And I started to incorporate just how much the law affected people of color. Like, in terms of the law is the breaking point between a lot of people in urban communities and prosperity. You know, racism, all these things that's systemically placed in order to, you know, stop prosperity for people of color. So I felt if I got into the legal field, I could really make a difference for people of color, at least for my family, or at least for myself, because I am also the Black life that matters. Noticing the law is the breaking point between freedom and non-freedom, you know, then I feel like that's something I should get on top of. So that's what led me on that path. So I added, as I started studying just like my race and things of that sort and communication and tying them two together, I changed my major from communication to pre-law communication. So basically I was still communication, but I was, it wasn't really a change. I was still a communication major, but now I concentrate in pre-law and like legal communication. So I just started taking a bunch of legal classes. Like in my school, they didn't have like a specific route or plan. Like, I know for the pre-med, program in my school, you had to like take certain biology classes, take certain this classes, certain that classes. It wasn't like that in the pre-law department at all in my school. Like, it was very much, you know, whatever you think would help you out, do it. So I just started taking just very specific legal classes. If it could teach me about the law, if it could teach me about business, because that also was something I felt like was very crucial in the middle in terms of affecting people of color, because we want to start businesses but we don't really know the legality behind it. That's why there's so fewer black owned businesses than anything else. So I felt like I needed to really just learn this stuff. Long story short, that's what got me into the paralegal field. So I basically made a plan. Like, I planned out my whole life my freshman year of college. Once I found out, all right, I want to get into the legal profession, once I realized what my true aspiration in life is to be, like my dream profession, which was to be an attorney. More specifically, I wanted to be a civil rights attorney, but I'll talk on it a little bit later about how that's changed a little bit. But I know that to be an attorney, you have to go to law school. So I'm already in school dealing with these 4 years of school. At the time, I had another 3 years to go. I know for a fact, and then throughout that time too, I was not going straight to law school. Like, no way. Like, I've been in school my whole life. Ridiculous. Not doing it. So I needed a year or two break. So the idea in my head was that I would be a paralegal for a year or two, because basically a paralegal is the closest thing you can be to being an attorney without being an attorney, in terms of you are hands-on in the law, you know all about the law, you're incorporated in it, but you didn't pass the bar yet, nor did you go to law school if you didn't go to law school. Graduated May 2020. And now I am 7 to 8 months into the paralegal field. So that was my goal. That's what got me interested in becoming an attorney, and becoming a paralegal. So my ultimate aspiration is to become an attorney. I actually now want to be like on the corporate side of things, the business side of things, because I feel like that would do more to the progression of people of color than than like the civil rights aspect of it, which, you might have a completely different opinion about it, but I believe capital really is what affects people of color just as much as the law, which is businesses and things of that sort, is what allows people of color to have more capital. So as I've really been studying this stuff, and now that I'm a few months into the field, I'm going to jump into the pros and the cons of being a paralegal. The con about being a paralegal is that it can be boring in like terms of, if you are not a person that can handle tedious tasks or like the same thing all the time pretty much, which is not all the time, but for a decent amount of time you're pretty much doing the same things, at least at my job, then it might not be for you. Also, if you're not a person that can sit at a desk for a long time, because I work 9:30 to 5:30, so I literally like am at a desk for like an extended period of time, if not at the office in my house, because we are working from home due to like COVID and things like that sometimes. So all of that could really affect you in terms of if this job is for you. If you can't take deadlines and pressure of deadlines, then this might not be for you. As well as a big one is, if you don't have attention to detail, this job may not be for you, though it is your desired field. So you might join this field, but if you're lacking attention detail, you can mess up the attorneys if you're not helping them out by being an asset to them, because that's what we are. We're legal assistants. We're assistants to the attorneys, and help them really just have a smoother workflow and succeed and win cases. So if you can't pay attention to detail or you miss something, because I promise you, especially I'm in right now the personal injury field, so with that, like the numbers sometimes of like just tracking the billing of all the medical bills that we receive, like it'll be like 1 or 2 numbers off, but that makes a huge significance to the impact of the case, in terms of like you'll have one bill from this company and it'll be like 543289, and then this one it'd be like 543287. Like, you have to kind of catch that 7, because you might be dealing with a whole different case if you use the wrong numbers associated to the wrong thing. You get what I'm saying? Like, I hope I'm making sense, but you have to be able to catch what goes with what, and it's very meticulous, and the details will be so small. Like, imagine your credit card number, but each time only 1 digit changes, and it's a random digit sometimes. So that's how to be in terms of dealing with the amount of caseload and clients and things like that sort. A lot of things are digitally tracked by numbers and stuff of that sort, so you have to be very, very attention orientated. And if you hate dealing with people on the phone, then it might not be for you, because you do have to call people a lot. Like because I'm in a personal injury field, I'm always on the phone with insurance companies, clients, attorneys. Like, I'm literally the middleman trying to like help everyone flow their work life a lot better. So those are really the cons of this job. if you work a specific salary position, like I do, sometimes you might work more hours than what you're getting paid for, and sometimes you might work less. So that's really that's a pro and a con. And I guess I'll go in on that on the pro side as well. So let's say you put in about like 50 hours of a work week, but because you're a salary paid worker, you have a fixed income. That means they pay you this amount every 2 weeks or every week regardless, which is great if you don't have a heavy workload. But when you have a crazy workload and you're working 50-60 hours that week, you're not getting compensated for the rest of those hours. So it's really a mix of both on what you're okay with. If you're more okay with security over you know, getting potentially more income or less income. You get what I'm saying? Because regardless, you have a fixed amount, so you can plan out your budget, plan out your life, plan out whatever. But you know, if you work harder, you're not getting more money. If you work less, you're not getting less money. You get what I'm saying? So that is really the cons. Now the pros. The pros of this job is, at least my specific job, you know, there is a lot of flexibility I feel with the paralegal field, because we have the law in the United States. You will pretty much be able to find a job anywhere. Like relocating should not be an issue in terms of finding a job in the legal field, because there's always legal assistance needed, especially depending on what field you're in. There's always going to be like help needed, so you can always find a job no matter where you go. And the more experienced you are, the more pay you get with these type of jobs, because if you're making the job easier, then you'll get paid more. So like at my job, though I didn't have a lot of experience in the legal field because I was fresh out of undergrad, I was really good with Excel sheets, because when I was in clubs and organizations while in undergrad, I used Excel sheets nonstop to organize myself. So that really became an asset at my job, and that increased my job offer at my job because I was an asset in that way. Like you know, I might not know these things, so they might have to train me on that stuff, but I'm really organized, as they can see. So they want me to be as an asset, because organization is important with the amount of workload that you have. You know, they work with you pretty much, like especially for smaller firms. Like I had this mindset that I would be working at Suits, where everybody's just like dying for the job nonstop. But really, at least at my personal firm, it's a smaller firm, like 20 to 30 workers. Everybody pretty much knows each other. They've been working together their whole life. Like I'm talking about these paralegals in this field, been here for like 5 to 10 years. I just got here from undergrad and stuff. So you know, they pretty much work with you, because they know that like you're just a regular human trying. You know, it's not as dead high pressure as like Suits or any of these TV shows come off, because of things like gridlock, and because of things like the fact that everybody works together. If it's a small firm, they all probably know each other and they want to work with you. So, you know, as long as we're all getting money together, which is winning cases, as long as you're doing things that helps the lead attorney, the partners, whoever win their cases, you should pretty much be good. You should pretty much always have a job, unless you like lose a major client, which is I guess something that can happen in the field, because that happened my first month working at my job. We lost a major client, so we had to switch over our whole like the way we operated, because we lost a lot of money because of that. So little things like that really make the difference of the job. Another pro is that at least for my job, it's just so laid back. Like I work from home most of the days. I work from home most days. I have incredible benefits. Like it's ridiculous in terms of, I have like now my own attorney, you know, that I can call if I have my own situation. Benefits at like fast food places, health benefits, you know, like vision, dental, yada yada, all that stuff. 401k, all that other stuff. So, you know, it depends, because if you're working like an hourly job, you might not, or it really depends on the specific firm that you're working from. But at least for my job, I have like so much security for how young I am. Like I'm talking about, I think I need this type of security when I have a family, but it's just me. So I am so grateful for that. And like my job really allows me to live my life, and I don't take my work home with me. Even though they won't pay us more than 40 hours a week, because at least I'm salary. So like if I put in a 50-hour work week, they're not going to pay me 50 hours. I'll only get the 40 hours. But when I do decide to stop working, I don't take the work with me home. So I'm really grateful for that, because I don't want to think about work outside of work, you know? And I feel like for other jobs that might be more pressing, but like because these jobs know that like they're not gonna pay you more if you're salary. Like, they also can't force you to do more either. So, and it's not a part of the culture of my job, because I feel like a place like, you know, like Suits, you know, if you worked at like a building like that, the culture would be no matter what, if you're getting paid $45,000 a year, but you're giving about $60,000 worth of like billables or something like that, you need to still act like you're getting the 60,000. Like, that's kind of the culture of those places. Whereas like, not every job, not every law firm has that culture of like work to the point that you're dying or you're killing yourself. Some law firms, I feel like my law firm, which I'm so grateful for, is like, if it's too much, let us know, because like, we're not dying over this stuff. Like, this is personal injury, it's okay. You know, like, that's really the vibe of like my job, and that's why I love it so much. So that is really, you know, why I became a paralegal, really the pros and cons, in my opinion, of being a paralegal. And if I would recommend this field, absolutely. I would recommend this field to literally people that's not even interested in being a paralegal, because it's just job security. Like, it's such a secure job that you can make a career plan out of, and even if you don't want to, it'll just be security for a year or two. Like, you'll be good for the next year or two if you can really land a paralegal job. There is and there's so much room for growth within these companies too. And you can also you can choose the specializations you want to go to. So right now I'm in personal injury, and I'm going to use that to get me closer to a more like corporate, you know, position. Whereas you can go into public interest, you can go into government. There's so many like types of paralegal work, and you know, you won't become rich becoming a paralegal, but you can become, you know, you'll be definitely middle class, or at least a little above middle class, depending on how much your job pays you. But you'll be okay. You'll be comfortable. You know, you won't be stressed to the point of death. And if you are, you can always find another job, because there's always a demand for paralegals. I like to call the attorneys the big picture, and you are the small details. I know I want to be an attorney because I enjoy being a paralegal. You know, I enjoy doing the shots that's getting called, so imagine me being the person giving the shots. You get what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying? Like, you know, so that is it. Thank you so much for watching. Thumbs up this video if this really helped you or taught you something. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.